There is a unique and quiet magic in the moments just before you fall asleep. It's a sacred space between the world of doing and the world of dreaming. And what you might not know is that this peaceful threshold is one of the most powerful moments for learning. Science has shown that as we drift into slumber, our brains are not shutting down. They are actively working, consolidating the fragile memories of the day, strengthening neural connections, and deciding what is important enough to keep. In these quiet moments, you are giving your mind its most important assignment for the night. You are choosing what to strengthen, what to remember, what to weave into the very fabric of who you are. The ideas you hear just before sleep are more likely to become a part of you. So, let me ask you a question. What if I told you that most of the suffering in your life, the stress, the fear, the self-judgment doesn't come from your job, your relationships, or your bank account? What if it comes from thousands of invisible agreements you've made with yourself, with others, and with life without ever realizing it? Agreements that silently dictate how you feel, what you believe you deserve, and how much freedom you allow yourself to experience. Tonight, we're going to explore a way to break free from those invisible chains. We'll be drawing our inspiration from the profound wisdom in a small but powerful book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This isn't just another self-help guide. It's a practical code of conduct, rooted in the ancient Toltec understanding of the world. It offers a blueprint for systematically dismantling the old limiting agreements and forging new ones that lead to a life of genuine personal freedom. So, get comfortable, let the day fall away, and allow this wisdom to find a home in your mind as you prepare for a deep and restorative sleep. Chapter 1. The First Key. The Sword of Your Word. This is a true story. There was a man named Steve who, as a 10-year-old boy, loved to sing. He was full of life, finding joy in his school choir. But one day, his music teacher, in a moment of carelessness, told him his voice was terrible and that he shouldn't sing. Those words, spoken in an instant, landed like a curse. For the next 40 years, Steve never sang out loud again. He'd attend church and just mouth the words. He'd be in his car when a favorite song came on and turned the volume down. He was silenced by a single sentence spoken decades earlier. This story is a heartbreaking but perfect illustration of the first and perhaps most fundamental agreement. It reminds us that our words are not just sounds, they are forces. They have the power to create beautiful realities or to destroy them. This brings us to the first key to freedom. Be impeccable with your word. In this context, the word impeccable means without sin. And a sin, as Ruiz defines it, is anything you do or believe that goes against yourself. So, to be impeccable with your word means to stop using your words against yourself or against others. It means using your language in the direction of truth and love. Think of your mind and the minds of others as fertile soil. Every word you speak is a seed. You can choose to plant seeds of encouragement, possibility, and love. Or you can plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation. Whatever you plant will eventually grow. The story of Steve shows how a seed of negative judgment planted by his teacher grew into a forest of self-limitation that lasted for 40 years. But the most radical application of this agreement isn't about how you speak to others. It's about ending the war of words inside your own head. It's about the silent conversations you have with yourself every single day. What garden are you cultivating with your own words for yourself? This first agreement is the foundation. It's about taking responsibility for the energy you put out into the world, starting with your speech. But what happens when negative energy comes at you? That leads us to our second key. Chapter 2. The second key. Your shield of invincibility. I'm going to make a bold statement, one that might challenge everything you've been taught to believe. Your feelings are 100% your responsibility. Nothing anyone else says or does is because of you. This idea directly confronts our natural tendency to feel hurt by criticism or praise. But what if that feeling of being hurt is a choice? What if taking things personally is the equivalent of willingly drinking the poison someone else offers you just because they offered it? Consider the story of Walt Disney. The man who built an empire of imagination was once fired from a newspaper because his editor told him he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. He was told he would never be successful. Imagine for a moment if Walt Disney had taken that personally. If he had absorbed that criticism, made it his truth, and allowed it to define his potential, the world as we know it would look vastly different. He refused to drink the poison. This is the power of the second agreement. Don't take anything personally. The reason this is so liberating is because, as Ruiz explains, what others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When someone criticizes you, it is almost never truly about you. It's about their own beliefs, their own fears, their own insecurities. When you take it personally, you are agreeing with them. You are letting their reality infect yours. The fear of judgment from others loses its power the moment you realize you are not actually on trial. Their opinions are their story, not yours. When you stop taking things personally, you build an invisible shield. The world can throw its opinions, its judgments, and its negativity at you, but they will simply slide off, unable to penetrate your inner peace. You become immune to emotional poison, and that is a superpower. But to build this shield, you first have to stop a very common and very destructive mental habit. Chapter 3. The third key, the antidote to chaos. Misunderstandings create chaos. They poison relationships, sink businesses, and have even started wars. We live in a world of constant, low-grade drama and conflict primarily for one reason. We think we know what other people are thinking. This mistake isn't just personal. It can be catastrophic on a global scale. Take the story of the Airbus A380, the world's largest passenger airplane. During its development, the German and French engineering teams assumed they were working with compatible versions of the same design software. They weren't. When the massive prefabricated sections of the plane were brought together for assembly, the wiring harnesses didn't fit. That single simple assumption cost the company over $6 billion and caused years of delays. Or think of Blockbuster Video. In 2000, they had the chance to buy a small startup called Netflix for $50 million. They declined, assuming that online streaming was a niche fad and that people would always want to go to a physical store. That assumption led them to bankruptcy. These stories reveal a fatal flaw in human thinking, which brings us to the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. We assume we know what our partner meant by that look. We assume we know why our boss is in a bad mood. We assume our friends understand what we need without us having to say it. In our minds, we write, direct, and star in an entire fictional movie about a situation, and then we react to that movie, not to reality. The solution is profoundly simple, yet requires immense courage. Ask questions. If you don't understand, ask for clarification. If you're not sure what someone wants, ask them directly. If you feel a conflict brewing, seek clarity instead of retreating into your own story. Stop writing the script for everyone else in your life and allow them to speak their own lines. And this is the secret link between this agreement and the last. The reason we take things personally is because we first make an assumption. We assume the criticism is about us. We assume the insult was intentional. When you break the habit of assuming, the poison has no way to enter your system. The shield holds strong. Clarity is the antidote to chaos. Assumptions breed suffering. Questions create connection. Which will you choose? But following these agreements takes energy. It takes effort. And that brings us to our final key. Chapter 4. The fourth key. The freedom of imperfection. Let me ask you one final question. Who is your harshest critic? Is it your boss? Your partner? A parent? Or is it that relentless voice inside your own head? The one that tells you you're never quite good enough, that you should have done more, that you could have been better. This inner critic is what the final agreement is designed to silence. And that agreement is, always do your best. Now, it is crucial to understand that this is the absolute opposite of perfectionism. Your best is not a static, impossibly high bar. It's a fluctuating state that changes from moment to moment. Your best when you are healthy and full of energy is very different from your best when you are sick or exhausted. Your best in the morning after a good night's sleep is different from your best late at night after a stressful day. Always do your best simply means giving what you can with what you have right now in this moment. There's a wonderful story about a young boy named Jack. In his senior year of high school, his teacher asked the class to write about their dreams. Jack wrote a detailed, passionate paper about his dream to one day own a horse ranch. His teacher gave him an F, telling him the dream was unrealistic for a boy with no money or resources. The teacher offered him the chance to rewrite the paper for a better grade. Jack thought about it for a few days, then handed back the exact same paper saying, "You can keep the F, and I'll keep my dream." Today, Jack owns that 200-acre ranch. In that moment, his best wasn't getting a good grade. His best was holding on to his dream, even when the world told him it was a failure. Think of yourself as an athlete. Your best during a grueling practice session is different from your best on game day with the world watching. Both are valid. Both are your best for that moment. Life is the same. Some days are for practice. Some are for performance. The benefit of this agreement is profound. When you truly always do your best, you leave no room for self-judgment, guilt, or regret. You can look back on any day, any action, and say to yourself, "I did what I could with what I had." This single agreement silences the inner critic and allows you to live a life of action, not a life of endless rumination. So, there they are. 4 simple yet transformative keys to personal freedom. A toolkit for a new way of living. First, use your word as a tool of creation, not destruction. Second, build a shield against the opinions of others by not taking them personally. Third, choose clarity over the chaos of assumptions. And fourth, grant yourself the grace of always doing your best, whatever that may be. These aren't just 4 separate rules. They are a system for living. Each one supports the others, creating a solid foundation for a life of peace and authentic power. But don't feel overwhelmed. You don't have to master all 4 tonight. In the spirit of doing your best, just choose one. Which agreement resonates most with you right now? Which one feels like the key you need most in this moment? Pick that one and simply focus on it for the next few days. That's it. That's the first step on the path. And now, as you get comfortable, as you prepare for rest, there is nothing more for you to do. Nothing to analyze, nothing to solve. Allow these ideas to settle. Let them drift from your conscious mind into the deeper parts of you, where true change takes root. Let your brain do the work as you drift into a deep, peaceful, and restorative sleep. Breathe in deeply, and as you exhale, release the day. Breathe in peace, and breathe out all tension. Feel the weight of your body, heavy, comfortable, sinking into a state of deep relaxation. There is nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Just rest. My words create my reality. I choose to speak with love. My words create my reality. I choose to speak with love. I am immune to the opinions of others. Their words are not my truth. I am immune to the opinions of others. Their words are not my truth. I release the need to make assumptions. I find peace in clarity. I release the need to make assumptions. I find peace in clarity. I did my best today, and that is enough. I did my best today, and that is enough. I use my words to heal and to support myself. I use my words to heal and to support myself. What others do is a reflection of them, not me. I am free. What others do is a reflection of them, not me. I am free. I have the courage to ask for what I need and to express what is true. I have the courage to ask for what I need and to express what is true. I release myself from the prison of perfection. My best is always changing, and it is always enough. I release myself from the prison of perfection. My best is always changing, and it is always enough. My mind is a safe and peaceful place. My mind is a safe and peaceful place. I am the source of my own happiness. I am the source of my own happiness. I let go of all judgment, especially my own. I let go of all judgment, especially my own. With every breath, I sink deeper into peace. With every breath, I sink deeper into peace.